We often mistake freedom for doing whatever we want, but the slave to impulse is actually the most trapped person in the modern world. Imagine a solitary lighthouse standing firm against the violent ocean waves in the middle of a dark, stormy night, unyielding and bright. The lighthouse does not fear the storm, it provides the light that pierces through the chaos, standing as a testament to inner architecture. Discipline is not a set of chains that binds you, it is that very lighthouse guiding you through the fog of life's distractions. In a world that is constantly trying to steal your attention, do you have the internal strength to remain unmoved by the crashing waves? Look at the city streets, a blur of motion where people drift like ghosts, caught in the currents of trends and instant gratification. We move through neon-lit nights, our focus fractured by 1,000 blinking lights, losing the sense of who we truly are in the noise. Slow down and observe the rain falling on the glass, each drop reflecting a piece of a world that is increasingly loud and demanding. True freedom is the ability to choose your own path, not to be dragged along by every passing desire or digital notification that rings. Can you stand still while everything around you is in a state of flux? Or will you be swept away by the tide? This journey is about building that inner lighthouse, the architecture of self-discipline that allows you to claim your life back from the storm. Think of your daily focus as a bathtub full of water. It is a finite resource that powers your potential and your dreams. But imagine that under the surface, there are tiny, microscopic cracks. These are the moments where your energy begins to leak away unnoticed. Every time you are pulled away by a mindless short video or a trivial notification, you are widening those cracks in your focus. We are not suffering from a lack of time, we are suffering from a leakage of vital energy through the gaps of indiscipline. Each drop that falls represents a fragment of your life that you will never get back, wasted on things that do not matter. We feel exhausted not because we have done too much, but because we have allowed our attention to be scattered and torn apart. When the water runs dry, we are left with nothing but a hollow shell of our intentions, wondering where the day has gone. Trying to fix it in the moment is hard. The real work lies in preventing the cracks from ever forming in the first place. The modern world is designed to be a series of hammers, constantly hitting your stone vessel to see if it will break. Observe the fatigue in your own reflection. That tiredness isn't from hard work, it's the weight of 1,000 small, meaningless distractions. Every distraction is a transaction where you trade your life's currency for a moment of cheap, hollow stimulation that leaves you empty. Without the discipline to seal these leaks, you will find yourself standing before an empty vessel when you need your strength most. It is time to stop the leakage. It is time to value your attention as the most sacred asset you possess in this life. The world only sees the tip of the iceberg, the part that glistens under the sun, and they call it natural talent. But the true architecture of inner strength lies in the 90% that remains hidden beneath the dark, freezing waters of effort. It is found in the hours of solitary work, the repetitive actions, and the quiet refusal to give in when no one is watching. Discipline is a silent process. It doesn't need an audience or a round of applause to validate its existence or its value. In the stillness of a dedicated room, away from the noise of the crowd, your true identity is being forged and refined daily. The depth of your character is measured by what you do in the dark, in those moments where quitting would be the easiest path. Consistency is the chisel that shapes the stone of your potential into a masterpiece of resilience and unshakable resolve for the future. Every temptation you decline and every difficult task you complete adds a layer of strength to the foundation of your inner being. While others seek the spotlight of quick results, the disciplined mind seeks the depth of true mastery through long, quiet immersion. The law of silence states that the greatest growth happens when the world isn't looking. In the steady rhythm of your commitment, do not seek recognition for your discipline. The strength you gain is its own reward, a power that no one can take away. When the storm finally hits, the tip of the iceberg remains stable because of the immense weight and structure held below the surface. Your internal architecture must be built in the shadows before it can ever hope to withstand the bright glare of public success. Think of discipline as the seed of a farmer. It is a promise made to the future, requiring faith and steady, daily labor. You cannot plant a seed in the morning and expect to harvest the fruit in the afternoon. Nature does not work that way. Our greatest mistake is wanting to be soul-rich instantly, forgetting that growth is a slow dialogue between effort and time itself. Self-discipline is the act of nurturing that seed even when the ground looks barren and the results seem invisible to the eye. It requires you to accept the delay of gratification, to work for a harvest that you might not see for many months or years. Every day you choose your long-term goals over short-term pleasure, you are watering the future version of yourself that will be free. The farmer knows that the harvest is inevitable if the discipline is consistent. He trusts the process more than his own temporary feelings. True freedom is not found in avoiding work, but in the mastery of the work that leads to a meaningful and abundant life. Vun Trom today, so that you may walk through the fields of your own creation tomorrow, unburdened by the debt of wasted time. The maturity of the soul is found in the ability to wait, to endure the seasons of emptiness with a heart full of purpose. When the harvest finally comes, it is not a miracle, it is the logical conclusion of 1,000 small, disciplined choices made in secret. Discipline is the bridge between the dream of the seed and the reality of the bread that sustains your life and spirit. Taste the freedom of a life well lived, a life built on the solid ground of patience and the tireless work of a focused mind. Compound interest is not just for money, it is the fundamental law of human habits and the secret behind all great achievements. When you are consistent, you are pushing a giant flywheel. The first few rotations are incredibly heavy and require immense, conscious effort. You might feel like you are working hard for no gain, but every push is storing kinetic energy into the system of your life. Eventually, the momentum takes over. The snowball becomes an unstoppable force, growing larger and faster with almost no additional effort from you. This is the point where discipline transcends effort and becomes instinct. It is no longer something you do, but who you are. You no longer need to fight yourself to do the right thing because your habits have built a path of least resistance toward excellence. The flywheel of freedom means you have liberated your willpower for higher tasks, leaving the basics to the automatic pilot of your character. Observe the stars and the planets, they do not struggle to follow their orbits. They move with the effortless discipline of universal law. When your life aligns with the principle of consistency, you tap into a source of power that is far greater than your temporary motivation. Discipline is the rhythm of your soul, the heartbeat that keeps your purpose alive even when the world around you is in chaos. The greatest victory is when you no longer have to negotiate with your excuses, because the snowball of your habits has crushed them. What started as a small, fragile choice has become a monument of strength, a fortress that protects your freedom from every external threat. Keep pushing the wheel, keep rolling the snow. The momentum you build today is the freedom you will enjoy for the rest of your life. In the end, you are the architect of your own internal landscape. You choose whether to build a shack or a cathedral. The architecture of inner strength is the only blueprint that can lead you to a life of true, unadulterated freedom and self-mastery. Recall the journey, the lighthouse that guides, the vessel that holds your energy, and the depth that defines your very core essence. Remember the patience of the farmer and the power of the seed. Remember that nothing of value is ever built in a single day. Feel the momentum of the flywheel and the weight of the snowball. You have turned effort into instinct and discipline into a second nature. True freedom is not found in the absence of rules, but in the presence of self-imposed laws that elevate your spirit and your life. It is the freedom from the environment, freedom from the opinions of others, and most importantly, freedom from your own lower impulses. You are no longer a leaf blown by the wind of circumstance, you are the mountain that defines where the wind must flow. The price of this freedom is discipline. It is a steep price, but the view from the top makes every sacrifice worth it. The world will remain loud, fast, and distracting. The question is not when the world will change, but when you will build your fortress. Do not ask why the world is so distracting, ask why your mind is not yet fortified. Build your own lighthouse starting from today. Your life is the masterpiece. Your discipline is the tool. Begin the construction of your inner architecture now, and never look back.